I want to give you a little success hack. And if you've been listening to me for a long time or a short time, you probably realize that I don't believe in hacks, but this is a super powerful hack. And I touched on it a little bit on our last episode with Ed Milet. Not our last episode, but the last episode with Ed. I talked about this a little bit. It's really just a language trick. It's really just something that you need to understand, that how you speak to yourself determines how you act. And a lot of you guys make things harder on yourselves than what it really has to be. For example, when we talk about building a company and we talk about sacrificing the weekends and the nights out and the times with friends, the vacations, we talk about it in terms of like it's this painful thing, right? Sacrifice. Or we talk about building a body, or we talk about building your mind through, maybe 75 hard. We talk about sacrifice, and we talk about how hard it is, and we talk about how painful it is, and we almost like hang our hats on that. And I get that. I do that as well. Like, I like to think I'm I like to think I'm putting in the work nobody else will do, and that makes me feel good. But the problem with that, guys, is that sometimes that language can actually make shit artificially harder than what it has to be. And so I want you to do this. I want you to stop thinking of things in terms of sacrifice. And I want you to start thinking in terms of investment. All right? One of the biggest mistakes that you will make as a human on a path to success, whether that success be financially, physically, spiritually, in interpersonal relationships, whatever it is, or success in all areas, when you think of it as a sacrifice, you're making it extra hard on yourself. And so what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking about investment. And I want you to understand that when you miss the weekends with the guys, or you pass on the trip, or you do this, you're not sacrificing anything. You're actually making an investment, because the investment is delayed gratification, and you just haven't seen the payoff yet. All right? So when you miss a night out to work out, you're not sacrificing a night out. You're making an investment in the future. And that investment in the future is going to create a better life. It's going to create more money. It's going to create better relationships. It's going to create a better body. It's going to create more confidence. When you're getting something in return for what you're giving up, it's not really a sacrifice, it's an investment. And this is something that all of you guys need to get really clear on, because as men especially, and some women, we like to feel tough. And I'm guilty of pushing that a little bit, sometimes too, because I like to feel badass. But the truth of the matter is that when I skip something fun to do something that's hard, I know that there's a payoff coming later. And what this really comes down to is understanding delayed gratification. And if you guys can understand and make the decisions that delay the gratification, you're making an investment. A sacrifice is really just you giving something up. And it sounds like shit. What sounds better? I'm making an investment in my future, or I'm sacrificing the night out with the guys. You're not losing anything. You're not giving anything up. That's some bullshit that everybody does their whole life. It's no different than what every other human does. And it's what everybody does. It's not something that you're missing. You're choosing to make an investment in yourself. You're choosing to make an investment in your money. You're choosing to make an investment in your body. You're choosing to make an investment in your relationships. And you need to remember that when you talk to yourself. Because if we constantly tell ourselves that we're sacrificing everything, we're always going to feel empty. We're always going to feel like we're not having anything paid back. We're always going to feel like we're doing all of these things for nothing, which is not the truth. The truth is that we're doing these things for something, and that means it's an investment. So that's my hack for you guys. We don't have this long, drawn-out process here. Just start replacing the idea of sacrifice and instead think of it as an investment. That will make your days much easier, much more fulfilling, much more pleasurable. If you know that you're going to get up and do this work because it's going to get you this later, and you understand and believe that, and you're making an investment, it becomes that much easier to do. The best thing that happened to me was I started losing real early. And what did that do? That allowed me to pay attention to the shit that didn't work and to take those lessons and put them into my skill set, into my toolbox. Now, this is important because in today's day, all we see is 19-year-old clowns renting people's cars and standing in people's mansions and trying to pretend like they're ultra successful, and they aren't. Not one of them is, by the way, not a single one. You guys, the people watching this video, you think that you're behind. You think that those people are going to be the people that win, and you're so far behind, and that makes you angry and it makes you frustrated. And the most important part is it makes you unwilling to take that step forward because you know that you don't have the skills and you're probably going to fall on your face and you're probably going to look stupid to your family, your friends, everybody that you went to school with, the people that used to make fun of you. You're gonna prove them all right? And so that makes you not want to move forward. Well, let me ask you something. How can you expect to win if you don't have any skills? You can't. Now, how do you expect to have skills if you never tried anything? The answer is you can't. Now, how do you learn skills? Well, you learn skills by being a loser. You don't learn skills by winning, all right? I am so thankful for the amount of L's that I take because every single one, no matter how big or how small, teaches me something. When I see someone beat me at something, which happens very rarely now because I've been doing this for 23 years, okay? But even now, when I lose, I appreciate the loss. And that's the difference between people who win big consistently and people who never do shit. People who win big consistently value the loss. They value the loss more than they value the win because they know that whatever that loss cost them today, it's going to be minuscule in terms of what it would have cost them 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road. And as far as what everybody else thinks, so you people should probably tune out of this shit because you don't have it, okay? You're gonna be embarrassed. You're gonna get made fun of. You're gonna be frustrated. You're gonna be angry. You're gonna feel like it's unfair. All these things are gonna happen to you regularly for a long time until they stop. And you know when they stop? They stop when you've accumulated enough skills, which means you had to take enough losses.